Hello everybody, and welcome to another alt history video. Today I'm going to mix things up, or I guess this week I'm mixing things up because I'm lazy and I don't want to edit stuff and I didn't do a script. So for this video, I'm going to be discussing what I think would have happened if appeasement didn't happen. So what do I mean by this? I mean, what if the French and the British decided, nope, Germany isn't getting, the Czechs. They're the Sudetenland and the rest of the Czech Republic, Well, here's what I think probably would have happened leading up to that and what would happen after that. And of course, I'm going to use Hoi 4 because most of you probably watch and play Hoi 4 games, so we're going to use this as a nice little mapping tool. So I would assume that Germany would have annexed Austria. The Anschluss probably would have gone off without a hitch. There's not much that would have happened in that scenario. What I mean is what would happen here. So let's say France and Britain are like, no, you're not getting this, you're not. So where would that lead Germany to go? I still think Germany probably would have gotten Memel, and I think they most likely would have pushed farther up into the Baltics a little bit, because that's too far away for the British and French to go to, and they probably would have made some kind of a deal with the Soviets to say, hey, let's just split this. So what most likely would have happened is Germany would have annexed Lithuania, and they most likely would have annexed Courland in Latvia. And then Germany and the Soviets would use basically this as a, border region for them to, river border. I'm going to just give them all this quick. Hope you guys like this different way of doing an alt history video. We'll see how it goes. So this is most likely what I think would have happened up to this point. And I think there might be some, haggling with the Polish to try to get, this territory. I don't know if that would happen right away. I think that would maybe happen in about 1950. There would be a larger, world war, quote unquote, where the Soviets and the Germans would tag up and maybe split Poland in half like they did in our timeline. But it might have to take a while because France and England weren't really up for that. Now, how do I think World War II would have happened, even though it's not, really happening? I think the two people that would have started this would be Italy and Japan, because Italy, of course, is pushing down here into Ethiopia. Let's just make sure that Italy gets Ethiopia really quick. And I don't know what their tag is because they changed it. So let's go with Italy has successfully taken out Ethiopia. They would be pushing more into Yugoslavia. And if they weren't willing to stop appeasement with the Czechs, I don't think they're going to do much with the Italians. However, I could see how they said they got shafted in the First World War. So they might be able to pull Dalmatia away from the Yugoslavs. But this is where it would probably break down for them. They would either A, need to form a bloc here with Bulgaria and maybe Romania and maybe Hungary to take out all of this, but they could start a second world war, quote unquote second world war, with basically Italy versus France and the UK coming down to save Yugoslavia, save Romania, save Turkey, or save Greece, something like that. I don't know what combination. It would probably be Italy and Bulgaria, maybe Italy, Bulgaria, Hungary as like the three bad guys, then Yugoslavia, Romania, Greece, and Turkey as like help come save us. So they would most likely be invaded, forced to return said, territory of Dalmatia, all of these Croatian territories back to Yugoslavia. Oops. They don't get that. And they would most likely take Albania back because I assume the Italians would have annexed Albania and they would just, split it between Greece and Yugoslavia. And France would most likely annex, Libya, or they'd have some shared occupation zone of that. Let's just give the British Somalia, and we will give them, let's just say Ethiopia is some kind of territorial, and they become independent. How is this? Nice bug, Hoi 4. Jeez. But something like that would happen. I don't know how Hungary would quite get dissolved, but there would be some kind of dissolution of Hungary. Italy might get chopped in half. Like, let's just say Italy loses. Maybe Italy would just get completely. Let's just release that. The Italians might just have this happen to them, where they just completely get broken up into several states, like so. There's no Italy. It is just broken back up into the former Italian states. And then lastly, what would happen is the Japanese front. Japan would most likely invade China, of course, as they did in our timeline, but they would most likely still attack America as well. So what do I think would happen? I think the communists would probably lose and China would reunite, quote unquote, as a quasi-democratic force. I'll show you what I think would happen. Oop, tag. I can't spell. Tag China. So what would happen here is China would get Taiwan back, and they would receive these probably this one back. Annex Yunnan, annex I think that's theirs. Yep, annex PRC, annex Shaanxi, and annex Men, annex C. This is what most likely would have happened to China. They would be allowed to reunite. Tibet would most likely stay independent. And what I think would happen with Japan is America would receive all of these little Japanese, areas down here like we did in our timeline. I believe we got all of this, and then we gave it independence. Japan would be similar to how it was in our time. They would keep Sakhalin, I believe. And I could see Manchuria either staying independent, one, or the Soviets could kind of make it a communist state as a part two, and Korea would be fully independent as like a democratic as it was in our time. Well, not democratic, it was authoritarian, but like Western influence. This is where I would see it would probably be under communist control. So yeah, this is what I think would have happened if World War II didn't happen. I hope you guys like this little bit of a weirder style. If you want me to try to perfect this, leave a comment down below if this is something you're interested in, or if you want me to go back to the stock footage way, let me know. Or if you want me to stay and just have it in my voice, leave a comment, and I'll see you all next week.